Hello and good morning students. In this video we'll be discussing about the Appalachian Mountain system. In the previous video we discussed about the Western Cordilleras, right? The first point of the physical division of North America. So this is the second point, and we'll also try to cover the other topics, that is Canadian Shield, the Great Central Plain, then rivers and lake system, right? These are all the physical divisions of North America. So first start with the Appalachian Mountain system, right? So Appalachian Mountain system, if you want to see, if we have to see in the map, then you can see here this part, this light purple color, this part is the Eastern Highland, or it is also known as the Appalachian Mountain system. It is one of the old fold mountain. Earlier it used to be one of the major mountain system of North America. Okay, as it occupies the eastern part of the continent, it is also known as the Eastern Highland. So it was one of the major mountain system, as I already told you, or a principal mountain system in North America. But due to continuous erosions over millions of years, the height of this mountain system, or the height of this mountain system has reduced to about 1,500 meter above the sea level. Now this mountain is spread out over a length of 2,575 kilometers somewhere else here, from here to this part. So it extends up to the length of 2,000, that is 2,575 kilometer from north to the south, right? And runs parallel to the eastern margin of the North America. So it runs parallel to the eastern margin of North America. Now it starts from Newfoundland, somewhere else here it is Newfoundland. From here, let me erase it, somewhere else here this is Newfoundland. From Newfoundland in the north, and it stretches Atlanta in south. Atlanta is somewhere else here, right? It stretches from Newfoundland in the north to Atlanta in the south. Now the important ranges are White Mountain. So there are some ranges, mountain ranges here in Eastern Highland. They are White Mountains, Green Mountain, and Blue Ridge. These are the three important ranges that is a part of Eastern Highland. Now among all this, there is a highest mountain range, that is Mount Washington, right? It is one of the highest point, you can say, Mount Washington, which rises up to 1800 meter above the sea level. So that is eastern side lies in the Piedmont. Now to the eastern side of this, there is a Piedmont Plateau. Piedmont Plateau means, let me tell you what is it. So this is mountain and this is plateau, right? So immediately after plateau, there is a steep side valleys, and we have sea somewhere else here. So this type of plateaus are called Piedmont plateaus, the plateaus that is at the foot of the mountain. So this type of plateaus can be seen at the eastern margin of this mountain system. Now, as I already told you, this Appalachian mountain ranges are characterized by steep, it is characterized by steep hillside in the east and narrow valleys. There are many rivers that flows down steep side into the Piedmont plateaus, right? So from here there are many rivers that originates, okay, and falls through the Piedmont plateau. Now they fall down sharply from the as I already told you that from here there is a steep side, so due to which whenever the river falls from here, they falls in the form of waterfall, right? So there are some rivers in these areas which originates from this region, and when it falls through this Piedmont plateau, it falls in the form of waterfall. So this edge of Piedmont plateau is also known as fall line. So here the edge of Piedmont plateau, let me show you here once again, like this is a mountain system, Piedmont plateau. Okay, here a series of fall line from here to here, A series of waterfall is also known as fall line. This part is known as fall line. So there is a fall line here where number of river falls in the form of waterfall there. So these rivers and waterfalls are used to generate hydroelectricity. As it is falling from the higher region, so the force of the water will be more. So that current of the water is used to generate hydroelectricity to rotate the turbine. Now Appalachian Mountain system also has a huge deposit of minerals. There are different types of minerals found in this region, as it is formed out of old rock, so because of which there are many different kinds of minerals in this particular mountain system. So this is all about the Appalachian mountain system. Let me revise in a very short. Appalachian mountain system is the old mountain system. It was one of the principal mountain system in the earlier days, but due to continuous erosion by rivers, glaciers, millions of years ago, the height of this mountain has reduced, and the average height of the mountain or the peak is reduced by 1500 meter above the sea level. The length of this mountain range from Newfoundland to Atlanta, it is near about 2575 kilometer, right? And now the important ranges that belongs to the Appalachian mountain system are White Mountain, Green Mountain, and Blue Ridges. And among them the highest mountain in highest mountain of this mountain system is the Mount Washington, which is about 1800 meter above the sea level. Now just to the eastern side, there is just to the foot of the mountain there is a plateau, which is very to the eastern side of this plateau, it is very steep. The valleys are very narrow, the hillside is very steep, and there are a number of rivers that originates that crosses this Piedmont Plateau and falls in the form of waterfall, right? So this waterfall is used to generate electricity. Apart from that, this mountain system also has a rich deposit of minerals. I hope it is clear to everyone about the Appalachian mountain system. Let us move to the next topic, that is this Canadian Shield. This part is known as the Canadian Shield, which is marked with light brown color. Okay, this entire region is known as Canadian Shield. Okay, so let us discuss the Canadian Shield part. Now the Canadian Shield, you all can see here, the Canadian Shield forms the heart of the continent. It forms the heart of the continent of North America. So about the half of the Canada, that is stretching from the Hudson Bay to the Great Lake, is occupied by the Canadian Shield, which is also known as Laurentian Shield. So instead of calling it as Canadian Shield, we can call it as Laurentian Shield. It stretches from Bay of Hudson Bay to the Great Lake. Let me show you where is Hudson Bay in the map. Look at this point, you can see here Hudson Bay. This is Hudson Bay. So from here to this are the 5 important Great Lakes. Okay, Great Lakes. So from here to here, this entire region is also known as Laurentian Shield. I think it is clear to you. Now let us come to the next point, that is, okay, see, the Canadian Shield area have a very rich mineral and water resource. So there, as I already told you, there are a number of lakes, rivers in the Canadian Shield region. So it has a rich deposit of minerals. Apart from that, it also has good water resources. Now the Canadian Shield contains rock which are over 2 million year old. This is important to note. The rocks found in the Canadian Shield are about 2 million year old. The old hard rocks are rich in deposit of gold, silver, copper, nickel, and lead. These are some of the important valuable minerals that are found in Canadian Shield. Now this area earlier, it was covered by thick ice sheet during the Ice Age. Now what happened after that? As the glacier moved, the surface got eroded and scored. So they scrapped out plains and many depressions. So when this, when the area was totally covered by glaciers during the ice age, it was covered by ice during the ice age. So when this glacier got retreated, means got melted, so at that time the landform got eroded or scarred and formed many kind of depressions. Okay, so that depression were later on were filled by this melted water. So after the ice age, this depression got filled with water and formed great lakes. Okay, so this important great 5 important lakes, you can also see in this map here. I'll show you here in this part. These are the important lakes that were developed that were filled during the retreat of the glacier. These are the important lakes, right? These lakes were filled with water due to the retreat of the glacier. Okay, now, so what happened after that? See, the important 5 lakes were developed. Apart from that, there were other more lakes we can see, but important one is Lake Huron, Lake Ontario. Then we have Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, and Lake Superior. These are the 5 important lakes that were basically formed after the retreat of the glacier. Now, and Lake Ontario is the famous horseshoe shape. Okay, it looks like an horseshoe shape, and there is an in Lake Ontario, especially in Lake Ontario, there is a horseshoe shaped waterfall which is also known as Niagara Fall, right? It is known as Niagara Fall. Now, beside these 5 great lakes, there are other more lakes. We'll be discussing about it, but before that, you will see some of the fact file of North America. The largest river in North America is Mississippi River. That is, the length of this river is 6,019 kilometer, and largest freshwater lake is Lake Superior. Highest point in North America is Mount McKinley, that is in Alaskan range, which is about 6,194 meter. Lowest point is Death Valley in California, which is 86 meter below the sea level. And North America is the third largest continent, and it has all the major biomes. Biomes means a kind of climatic conditions, a kind of climatic condition or a habitat which is which can sustain in that particular climate, kind of animals or plants that can sustain in a particular climatic condition. That is what we call biomes, a unit of habitat where all plants and animals can survive. So that means it has major biomes, and all types of climates can be seen here in this continent. There are about 965 species of mammals, and it hosts Olympics 12 times. It has hosted Olympic 12 times. So these are some of the fact files of North America. So moving on to the next point, we'll see what are the other 5 apart from these 5 great lakes, what are the other important lakes that is found in North America, right? So the other long narrow glacial lakes includes the Great Bear Lake. Okay, so somewhere else in the northern side there is a lake called Great Bear Lake, Lake Winnipeg, then Great Slave Lake, and Lake Athabasca. These are the other more lakes that can be observed in the part of Canadian Shield. Now, Labrador Plateau that lies in the northern eastern part forms the highest or the highland edge to the Shield. So there is somewhere plateau called Labrador Plateau, which forms the northeastern border of this Canadian Shield in the northeastern part, somewhere else here. If you would show here in this part, somewhere else here in this part, there is a plateau called Labrador Plateau, which forms the northeast border of this Canadian Shield. Now, see, let us come to the next point. This is all about the Canadian Shield. So what we have learned about this Canadian Shield forms the heart of the continent of North America. It covers half of the area of the Canada, from Hudson Bay to the Hudson Bay to the Great Lake, it is also known as Laurentian Silt. Okay, so this rocks found in Canadian Silt is over 2 million year old, because of which different kinds of minerals are mineral deposit can be found here, that is gold, silver, lead. These are some of the minerals, copper, important mineral, valuable minerals are found in this particular physical feature, that is in Canadian Silt. Then earlier this entire region was covered by thick sheets of ice during the ice age. So when this ice got retreated, so depressions were created. So in depression there are a number of lakes developed, like importantly 5 great lakes, where the Lake Huron, Ontario Lake, Michigan, Lake Eyre and Lake Superior are the important one. There are other more like Winnipeg, Great Bear Lake, Slave Lake. These are some of the other important lakes that were developed, right? So apart from that, this Canadian Shield, right, this Canadian Shield is bordered by the Labrador Plateau in the northeastern part. So this is all about the Canadian Shield. Now coming to the next part, that is the Great Central Plain. Okay, now Great Central Plain, if you have to see in the map, Great Central Plain, which is marked with the yellow color, Great Central Plain, it is marked with yellow color. All this region is termed as the Great Central Plain. Somewhere else in the northern side, northeast and northwestern side, somewhere else from the Alaskan region of Alaska till the end of the Gulf of Mexico. So the Great Central Plains are also known as Central Lowland. Now this is a vast stretching or undulating plain which is this area is occupied between the Western Cordilleras and the Appalachian Mountain system. As you all can see here, this plain is occupied by Western Cordilleras. You can see this part is your Western Cordilleras and the Eastern Highland. So in between Western Cordilleras in the west and the Eastern Highland in the east, there is a vast undulating plain which is also known as Great Central Plain or the Central Lowland, right? Okay, coming to next. Now this plain, okay, this plain, you know, stretches the length of this mountain. Now the length of this particular plain is about 2000 kilometers, that is from east to the west. If we see the total length of this plain from east to west, that is from the Eastern Highland to the Cordilleras, then it is 2000 kilometers. And if we see the distance from north to the south, from Arctic Ocean to the Hudson Bay, that is Arctic Ocean and Hudson Bay in the north to the Gulf of Mexico in the south, right? You want to see this part from here, somewhere else here. This is from here Arctic Ocean to the, from this region Gulf, Bay of Bengal, Hudson Bay to the Gulf of Mexico, from here entire this region. Then the total length will be near about 6000 kilometers from north to the south. Okay, that is from Arctic Ocean and Hudson Bay in the north to the Gulf of Mexico in the south. So this Great Central Plain are elevated to about 500 meters in the west. So as it is near to the Cordilleras in the west, so it is quite elevated, right, and slopes northward towards the Arctic Ocean. So here you can see here this part. So in this region especially, this part is quite elevated. Okay, the height is about 500 meters and it slopes towards the Arctic Ocean. The slope is towards the Arctic Ocean. So how can we identify the slope of the region? Looking at the direction of the rivers, to which direction the river is flowing. So based on the direction of the river, we can identify, like the river northward, the northward slope is indicated by river Mackenzie. So Mackenzie River is sloping towards the Arctic Ocean. So looking at the slope of the the looking at the direction of the river, we can identify the slope of the land. Now these plains are among the most fertile region of the world because they covered with layers of sediments deposited by rivers and glaciers. So there are a number of rivers that originates from this region, from the Cordilleras, western Cordilleras. So this river brings a lot of sediments, and glaciers originate from the Cordilleras or the Rockies mountain. Okay, brings a lot of sediments with it and deposit in this plain. So because of which it is very fertile. And the southern part of this plain also sloped downward and is drained by river Mississippi. Toward the southern side there is a river called Mississippi, which is one of the largest river system of North America. So that Mississippi river drains in the southern part, somewhere else here, Mississippi river, and drains to the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, now so river Mississippi, extensive cultivation is practiced in these areas or in this region. Extensive cultivation means using machineries, tractors, or kind of using most of the modern technologies for cultivation. So this type of cultivation is also known as extensive cultivations, doing in cultivation in a large area, right? So this is all about the Great Central Plain. So now let us discuss about rivers and lakes of North America. So the large continental landmass of North America has several flowing rivers. Most of the rivers have their sources in western Cordilleras and drains northward, eastward, southward, westward. Now we'll see which are the river that drains into the Arctic Ocean and Hudson Bay, which river drains in the eastern side to the Pacific Ocean, and southward into the Gulf of Mexico, and westward into the Pacific Ocean. Starting with the river that drains into the Pacific Ocean, they are Hudson Bay, that the river that drains into the Arctic Ocean, and the Hudson Bay. They are Nelson River, Saskatchewan, and Mackenzie. These are the three important rivers that drains into the Arctic Ocean and Hudson Bay. The river that drains towards the eastward side and into the Antarctic Ocean, that is Atlantic Ocean, that is St. Lawrence, Hudson, then Potomac, Delaware, Tennessee. These are the important ones that drains into the Atlantic Ocean. Now river that drains to the southward direction into the Gulf of Mexico, that is river Mississippi and its tributaries. They are Missouri, Ohio, Arkansas, then Rio Grande are some of the important ones. And river that drains into the western side into the Pacific Ocean. They are Columbia, Fraser, Yukon, Colorado, Snake River are the important one, right? So all of this river of North America, these rivers are grouped on the basis of the direction they are flowing, like they are flowing northward, eastward, southward, westward, so accordingly, and to which water body they are fall into, right? So based on this category, these rivers have been categorized. Now all of this river plays a very important role in the economic development of North America. Like example, St. Lawrence, which is along with great rivers, they all forms very important inland waterway. Then the rivers, all of this river, they drains along the busiest industrial belt of the world, right, to transport industrial good. So basically to develop industrial aspect, this rivers plays a very important role. Mississippi and Missouri rivers are there, which drains in the southern side, right, and they drains the fertile prairie regions of prairie is a grassland basically. So this area is used for cultivation of wheat, especially wheat cultivation is done in these areas. So wheat and corn cultivation is done. So the swift flowing rivers coming down to the Appalachian Mountain as well as the western Cordilleras, these rivers have been used to generate electricity as well, hydroelectricity. So thus they help in boosting the economy of the continent as well. Rivers like Colorado, which flow through a steep sided gorge. Okay, I told you what is gorge in the last class. which is also called Grand Canyon, which forms a Grand Canyon, which is an area of scenic beauty and great tourist interest. So this is how the important river that is draining through the entire continent of North America plays a very important role in boosting the economy of North America and its country. So rivers plays a very important role, whether it is of North America or of Asia or of Africa or of Australia, right? So all of the areas having perennial rivers plays a very important role in boosting the economy of any nation. So by this we can conclude this topic. So hope you have understood the topic whatever I've discussed in the video. If you have any kind of doubt, you can ask in my WhatsApp number. Thank you.